Hi there everyone, it's Steven here. With the new generation about to begin in less than a week, Jared and I thought it would be a good idea to do a video of our top 10 games of this current generation. So here we go. I'm gonna start right away with my number 10, which is Left 4 Dead. I had a blast with this game, played it with a friend of mine, actually played a lot of games with this particular friend, but we had a blast with this. We were achievement hunting, we tried to get everything, and it's an insanely hard game, especially if you play on the hardest difficulty, which I think is actually just playing called hard, and the zombies are just brutal. There's you really need to cooperate in order to advance, and it's easier said than done. There was a sequel for this, Left 4 Dead 2, which was equally as impressive. Sorry, and if you've never played this series and you have an Xbox 360, by all means, check it out. At number 9, I have Uncharted 3. The Uncharted series is one of my favorite franchises of this new generation, of this past generation rather, and my favorite one was by far Uncharted 3. I actually find this to have one of the best beginnings in the entire video game industry. The first like 7 hours or so of this game is just action packed and fast paced. It just doesn't stop, and for this reason alone, I really recommend you play this. You probably already had, but it's an excellent game. And number 8, I have Dark Souls, one of the hardest games I've ever actually managed to complete. It's simply incredible. It's really hard to describe what makes this game so awesome. Just the fact that it throws you into a world, doesn't tell you anything, and really wants you to advance on your own. If you die, you restart from a long checkpoint. You lose all your XP and equipment or something. I don't think you lose your equipment, but you lose all the XP anyway, and the XP is really important. That's how you level up, and you need to level up in order to advance in this game. The boss battles are truly epic, simply an awesome game. And I think I'm at number 7 right now. I have Gears of War. Me and Jared actually have one of our favorite moments in the entire generation was us playing Gears of War on Insanity. We actually played it for 7 hours straight, managed to beat it in 1 or 2 settings. We had already completed the game on normal and the difficulty before Insanity. We gave it our best shot, and we actually managed to beat it. It was a really challenging game. One of my best memory of this game, though, was actually the visuals. This was a truly fantastic looking game, and at that time there wasn't really anything else on consoles that could come close. I didn't even have an HGTV at the time, and I found this to be breathtaking, just the visuals of this game. So it's really just a fantastic series. Gears of War 2 and partly 3 are awesome additions too, but this one stands out as my favorite of the series. And number 6, I have Mass Effect 3. I greatly enjoyed the first 2 games. I didn't know which ones to pick, but I thought this was a fantastic finish to the series. Of course, the ending was a bit disappointing, as we all know, but the entire game, I thought, managed to put the first 2 games, complete them perfectly, I meant, because if you don't know, the Mass Effect series is famous for letting you transfer your character from the first game. So basically, the same Shepard you control in Mass Effect 1 is in here with all your decisions impact. So I thought this was really done well, and I greatly enjoyed this. I actually gave it a 10 in my review, and in my opinion, it's a can't miss game of this generation. Now I'm not sure. I'm at number 5, which is Assassin's Creed 2. I briefly played the original and didn't really quite catch my attention, but when I tried out this one, I was hooked from the beginning. It's simply a fantastic game with tons of missions, a nice combat. I like the stealth in this, and the story was okay, so everything just adds up to a fantastic game. I don't really, can't really explain why I love this game so much, but I just do. It caught me by surprise, and it stands out as my number 5 game of this generation. At number 4, we have Batman Arkham Asylum. If you're following the site, you'll have noticed that I recently reviewed the latest entry in the series, Arkham Origins. But for me, this will always be my favorite in the series. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. I think no other video game has ever captured the essence of Batman like this one does. First time we played Predator mission, just felt awesome. Being able to run around, not stealth kill because Batman doesn't kill obviously, but knock out people without them ever noticing you, and using all the various gadgets that made Batman famous was done really well in this game. And the storyline was fantastic too. It featured the Joker. Mark Hamill did a fantastic job as usual voicing him. And everything about this game is just so fantastic. It's a classic and you must try it if you've never done so. Okay, number 3 I have Catherine, another game that caught me by surprise. I wasn't even sure if I was going to pick it up at first, and then I tried the demo and decided it was pretty fun, so I took a chance on it, and it ended up being, well, my number 3 game of this entire generation. Is just the gameplay itself stands on its own. It's a fantastic puzzle game that you have to climb up, and there's always this stress because the lower level is falling down or there's a boss chasing you. So it's simply incredible trying to do that. And there's also a fantastic story, and that's about it. It's really a niche game, but it's fantastic, and if you've never played it, well, I highly recommend that you do so. And on second place, I have Skyward Sword, my favorite 3D Zelda ever. Again, I know I say that a lot, but it took me by surprise. I was a bit disappointed by Twilight Princess. It was okay, but I thought it didn't try anything new. And when I played this one, I thought it had the greatest storyline in a Zelda game since A Link to the Past, and that's saying a lot. Usually Nintendo don't take many chances, and I thought the relationship between Zelda and Link in this one was never as well demonstrated as in Skyward Sword. And I love the difficulty. I thought it was not like overly difficult, but the challenge was really good for me. I died quite often. I loved how the dungeons, they forced you to use every single weapon in your arsenal in order to solve it. And the only thing missing, like I said in my review of this game, was that it didn't feature voice acting. It's the only step missing. But the motion controls actually changed my whole view on motion controls because it was so well implemented in this one. I actually would like to play another Zelda game with motion controls, and I hope they do so at one point, but I really doubt it now with the Wii U's focus more on the gamepad. But anyway, this is a fantastic game and well deserving of my number 2 spot in my top 10 games of this generation. And on number 1, it's a game that you probably all have played by now. I actually don't have the box with me because I lent it to a friend because I want as many people as possible to try it. And it's The Last of Us, one of the best games I've ever played. You all know Jared loved it too. We had a video review a few days before the actual release. And it's a classic. Everybody who played it says so. It features one of the best storytelling ever featured in a video game. Just everything about it is awesome, really. There's not else much to add. The Last of Us stands as my number 1 video game of this generation. And that about rounds things up, guys. I hope you enjoyed this and look forward to Jared's take on his top 10 video games of this generation. Thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.